in Indian River County, and it reached a boiling point today.
The sheriff is demanding a $14 million increase to keep deputies on the streets, but county commissioners say the money just isn't there.
Yeah, CBS 12's Tiffany Rizzo was inside that heated meeting today where a sheriff made it clear this fight is about a lot more than just dollars.
Jim and Liz, the Indian River County Sheriff says this is about safety, staffing, and whether he can keep deputies on the street. The county leaders say their hands are tied. At a commissioner meeting, Indian River County Sheriff Eric Flowers didn't hold back, demanding the county fund his full $14 million budget increase.
Every year, we settle. I'm done settling. I gave you the Florida statute. Put in writing what you're not funding me for. Listen to these people who are applying for food stamps that work for me.
Sheriff Flowers' push to secure better pay for his deputies turned tense as county commissioners pushed back during this heated exchange. He stormed out from anger. The sheriff says his agency is understaffed, struggling with rising costs, and losing deputies to neighboring counties offering better pay. He pointed to one deputy who left a $52,000 job in Indian River for a $79,000 position in Port St. Lucie.
If this budget increase goes through as proposed, he would have made around 72, which is much more. Hey, he can work some details, still live here with his family, pay his bills. But there's no way at 52,000 I'm going to keep any of these people.
He says law enforcement should be a priority in the county's budget, not the scraps left at the end.
You can take your parks and close them down. You can take your libraries because they're going to be full of homeless people. You can take all the other projects that you're working on, roads, building department, you can close it because it'll be like a joint and people will be moving away. If you don't have the law enforcement that is necessary to protect a community. Right.
And the room was clearly in support of giving the sheriff's office more money.
But you won't do something for the law enforcement. Is it personal? Are y'all mad at him? Do you hate him? Do you hate the sheriff's office? What is it? What is it going to take for y'all to realize that this is an extreme problem?
This shouldn't even be a question right now. It should be done.
Sheriff Flowers warned commissioners that if they fund even a penny less, he'll need written direction on what he should cut.
The public is tired of this nonsense. We get calls every day. How come you're not dealing with traffic? How come you're not dealing with this? How come you're not dealing with my neighborhood? How come you're not dealing with that? I have 0 new positions in this budget. 0. You guys are getting 28. I have 0 new positions. I'm asking you to pay these people so they don't leave on me. They want to be here. They want to work. They want to stay and be a part of this community.
The last offer the county made to the sheriff was for $6 million more towards their budget, not even half what the sheriff's asking for. They couldn't come to an agreement today, so they're going to revisit this at a hearing in September. The sheriff says before then he'll continue talking with commissioners and pushing for his budget. Reporting live in Indian River County, Tiffany Rizzo, CBS 12 News.
The heated budget battle in Indian River County continues tonight. Members of the sheriff's office were back in chambers today pushing for more money.
Deputies speaking their minds during the public comment portion of today's commission meeting, but it was a lot calmer this time around compared to last week's passionate speech by Sheriff Eric Flowers.
CBS 12's Treasure Coast reporter Jack Wu joins us live in Vero Beach with how officials are trying to find a solution. Jack.
Luli, Liz, it was definitely a more peaceful exchange between the sheriff's union and county commissioners. But while it was more peaceful, law enforcement officials told me that if they don't seek money closer to their requested budget, vital roles and programs could be cut. A fight over funding continues in Indian River County. A representative from the Sheriff's Department and County Jail pleaded with county commissioners to reconsider their $6 million proposal from last week, which is not even half of what Sheriff Flowers is asking for. Sergeant Matt Redstone with the Sheriff's Union told CBS 12 about his peers who are looking at other more lucrative positions in neighboring counties offering better pay.
Sending me photos of all these other agencies on the Treasure Coast that are starting way higher than us, and they're concerned that the low number that was provided to the sheriff isn't going to be able to account for that.
The last time the Sheriff's Department spoke in the chamber, Sheriff Eric Flowers gave a heated monologue, fighting for more funding.
You can take your parks and close them down. You can take your libraries, because they're going to be full of homeless people. You can take all the other projects that you're working on, roads, building department, you can close it, because it'll be like a joint and people will be moving away.
Redstone was met with a friendlier approach from the commissioners.
Personally, I appreciate you coming forward.
Chairman Joseph Fletcher explained that while the county commissioners fund the department, they don't determine who gets paid, referencing the nearly $22 million in increased funding the sheriff's office has received over the past 4 years.
That was intended to go to salaries. And again, the sheriff has the opportunity to, and total discretion as to what he does with those funds afterwards.
Despite this, Redstone says if the budget doesn't get closer to the $14.6 million that Sheriff Flowers requested, programs and positions may be cut.
And the sheriff's going to have to make cuts. He's going to have to determine what's necessary to be funded and what's not. So some of these extra services that we may provide, they may have to see the cuts.
Luckily, there is a little bit of time for these two parties to come to a compromise. The final budget hearing is on September 17th. Reporting in Vero Beach, I'm Jack Wu, CBS 12 News.
Budget standoff between Indian River County Commissioners and Sheriff's Office. Today, County Commissioners holding a second budget workshop, but the Sheriff's Office didn't show up. CBS 12 Treasure Coast reporter Jack Wu joins us now with the details. Jack?
We're just 1 month away from the proposed budget deadline for the fiscal year, and there's currently no consensus on the budget increase for the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. We did get a little closer with a compromise from Sheriff Eric Flowers, but unfortunately it didn't make much of a difference. Indian River County Commissioners took another step in finalizing the Sheriff's Office budget less than a month before the proposed budget is due. County Commissioners approved a preliminary budget increase of $6 million. One commissioner says that no matter what number they come up with, they can't satisfy the sheriff's request.
It sounds like whatever number we instruct the administrator today is going to be challenged.
While Sheriff Flowers wasn't in attendance on Monday, he wrote a letter to the commissioners with a seemingly calmer demeanor than the last time they spoke.
You can take your parks and close them down. You can take your libraries, because they're going to be full of homeless people. You can take all the other projects that you're working on, roads, building department, you can close it, because it'll be like a joint and people will be moving away.
He reduced his proposal from $14.6 million to $12.2 million. That still leaves an over $6 million gap between the county's proposal and the sheriff's request. Chairman Joseph Fletcher made clear that while he supports law enforcement, there are limits.
I don't think you can put a dollar amount on what a deputy or your law enforcement office deserve. But quite frankly, we have limitations.
This meeting was the last chance for the Board of Commissioners to meet about the budget before the deadline, seemingly ending the chance for the two sides to agree. Sheriff Flowers has threatened to take the situation to the state level if his demands are not met. We reached out to the sheriff's office for a comment, but at this time we have not heard back. The next scheduled meeting about the budget is on September 10th, where the proposed budget will be finalized. Reporting in Indian River County, I'm Jack Wu, CBS 12 News.
Well, 2 armed robberies, 4 smash and grabs in just 1 week in Indian River County. Now the sheriff is using this crime wave as a way to ask for a bigger budget. Our Jack Wu is over in Fort Pierce tonight with what more the sheriff had to say.
Sheriff Eric Flowers emphasizing these incidents because he says this work is fundamental to the county, hence why he's asking for $12.2 million in a budget increase for the next fiscal year. The county commissioners, however, are not on the same page.
And there it is.
Another display of how deputies are stopping crime in Indian River County. Sheriff Eric Flowers held a press conference Monday after reviewing a week with 2 armed robberies and 4 smash and grabs in late August. The first armed robbery at knife point carried out at a Snappy food store. Sheriff Flowers says this video shows Matthew Evans brandishing a knife at a customer who got away unharmed. Evans was previously convicted of drug possession and aggravated battery.
This is our suspect. He presents a gun.
Just 2 days later, a convenience store clerk was held at gunpoint by a man looking for cash. Deputies later reportedly found Wilburn Bowling while overdosing on fentanyl with the cash. The weapon? A toy gun. Sheriff Flowers says commissioners have to realize law enforcement is important and vital to this county.
I get it. We're asking for a lot of money. But we're providing a pretty damn good product here, and we think you should definitely be paying for it. So, and again, we haven't asked to raise taxes. We've said there's other ways. You guys need to look at the projects that you're doing, and there's a whole lot of pet projects that are happening at the county. I think those can be put off because I think law enforcement is one of the most important things the county government can do.
Sheriff Flowers also announcing the arrest of a suspect in at least 4 smash and grabs in Indian River County and possibly the Space Coast. He's currently in custody in Brevard County Jail for similar crimes. Reporting at the Indian River County Sheriff's Office, I'm Jack Wu, CBS 12 News.
The ongoing stalemate over a multi-million-dollar budget increase for a sheriff's office on the Treasure Coast has now ended. Tonight, Indian River County commissioners voted to raise the sheriff's budget by $6.8 million, far below what was requested by the sheriff. Most of that money would go toward better pay for deputies and staff. CBS 12's Antoinette Delbel was at tonight's meeting and has more tonight. Annie?
Well, there was a lot of back and forth tonight. It was clear Indian River County commissioners were not all on the same page. But in the end, they agreed to give the sheriff an 8% increase to his budget so they wouldn't have to dip into reserves and raise taxes down the line. During an hours-long budget hearing tonight,
All y'all understand how this game is played.
several community members spoke out in support of and against a pay raise for the Indian River County Sheriff's Office.
I say we move forward and give the sheriff what he needs.
I can't sit here and say that these sheriffs deserve this raise.
I do believe that Flowers does deserve this money. I believe that the deputies deserve this money to protect our children.
Sheriff Eric Flowers asked for $14 million above the current budget, but later lowered his offer to $12 million, pointing toward public safety. The sheriff was not at tonight's budget hearing. The chairman said he had an emergency. During budget talks, the sheriff argued that most of that $12 million would go toward pay raises for the department's roughly 560 employees. He said that would help put them more in line with what other agencies on the Treasure Coast are paying. Flowers also said it would pay for equipment and new patrol cars and help retain deputies.
All in favor?
Aye.
In the end, commissioners approved an additional $6.8 million for the sheriff's budget, which gives law enforcement officers about a $10,000 raise. As a result, commissioners agreed to about $850,000 in county department cuts rather than dipping into savings.
I had greater anticipation, but you have to take what you can get.
A final public hearing and vote on what was agreed on tonight is set for next Wednesday. In Vero Beach, Antoinette Delbel, CBS 12 News.
Tonight, a heated budget battle in Indian River County has finally come to an end. Commissioners approved the upcoming budget, but it's one that not everyone is in favor of, including the county's top law enforcement official. Our Jamilka Gibson breaks down what's at stake for the future of the county sheriff's office.
That's a motion by Commissioner Ehrman, seconded by myself. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
After weeks of debate, Indian River County commissioners finalized the budget. But Indian River County Sheriff Eric Flowers says the outcome shortchanges public safety.
They made a decision that law enforcement was not a priority.
This after commissioners voted to approve only a $6.8 million budget increase for the Sheriff's Department. The amount is far less than the $12.2 million Sheriff Flowers requested, which he says would have been used to boost salaries for his roughly 560 employees.
We're looking at some serious cuts. You know, we might not be able to buy vehicles this year. We might not be able to buy replacement laptops. There's a whole lot of programs that are probably going to get cut out. We've got amazing community programs that we've built up, and so we've got some hard decisions to make. One of the most frustrating parts of this entire thing is that our county commission has not said what it is that they're expecting me to cut.
Flowers says the department is struggling to retain employees, with many going to higher paying agencies across Florida and neighboring counties.
We had a deputy, one of our top ticket writers, great traffic guy, took a job in South Florida making 6 figures. He left here making low 50s, and he goes there and he's making $100,000 a year.
The county upped the starting pay for firefighters to $60,000. Sheriff Flowers says his team responds to the same calls and deserves the same.
This comes down to county commissions making decisions about what they prioritize. And unfortunately, our county has chosen trash. They've chosen 20 new employees for the county commission. They've chosen all these other things, but they've not chosen law enforcement.
Many residents urged the commission to approve the sheriff's request.
The deputies deserve this money to protect our children.
But during Wednesday night's meeting, those requests did not prevail.
I had greater anticipation, but you have to take what you can get.
That was our Jamilka Gibson reporting. Sheriff Flowers says he's grateful for the community's support and will work hard to ensure the decision does not impact the safety or security of residents.
Michael, well, the Indian River County Sheriff had requested more money in his budget, but as it was widely reported, the County Commission didn't grant him that full amount.
Now he is publicly pushing back and saying he'll keep fighting to secure more money. CBS 12's Al Peffley joins us live in the newsroom with the latest on this budget battle. Al?
Liz, the Indian River County Sheriff is not happy with the final budget approved by county commissioners. He says he's getting about $5.4 million less than he asked for, and he says this budget battle is not over. The new budget year starts today, and the Indian River County Sheriff says his office is in trouble.
Today, we start out over $5 million short of the money we need to keep our community safe.
In a 4-minute video posted on the Sheriff's Office Facebook page, he says for the County Commission and County Administrator to slash his budget by nearly $5.4 million is unconscionable.
I never thought that in 2025, in the United States of America, in the state of Florida, and especially in Indian River County, that we would ever see the Defund the Police movement come to our hometown. The County Commission has made the decision to not properly fund our operation.
Sheriff Flowers says county commissioners and the county administrator have cut money for things he needs, such as ammunition, body armor, mental health care for first responders, uniforms, radios and radar for patrol vehicles, body cameras and tasers, and even dog food for canines.
God forbid there's some mass casualty event like we've seen in so many other places across our country just this weekend.
Flowers also says the way county commissioners have slashed his budget will make it tough to protect school kids.
What they don't realize is there are items inside of this budget that are directly related to protecting our schools, to protecting our children, and to protecting our community every single day.
His budget for 2025-2026 is now final, but Flowers says he's not giving up.
We are going to do everything legally possible to ensure that the operations of the Indian River County Sheriff are properly funded and that this money goes where the taxpayers meant for it to go, into public safety, ensuring that our community is safe.
Says he will appeal his need for additional money to the governor's office. He says he's also talking to legal counsel and might take legal action against Indian River County. The county commissioners and the county administrator did not respond to calls seeking comment. Live in the newsroom, Al Peffley, CBS 12 News.
Today is October 1st and the start of new budget year here at the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. Today, we start out over $5 million short of the money we need to keep our community safe. I submitted my budget request on May the 1st with a full detail. I posted it to the internet, and I've been so transparent from the beginning about our needs and where we're at here at the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. I never thought that in 2025, in the United States of America, in the state of Florida, and especially in Indian River County, that we would ever see the Defund the Police movement come to our hometown. The County Commission has made the decision to not properly fund our operation. Last week, I received this document. Well after the final gavel on the budget was already sounded. This document, created by the county administrator in the shadows, tells me what I'm supposed to cut from my budget. Folks, an unelected bureaucrat has told me, the elected sheriff of Indian River County, that mental health for first responders is not important, that dog food for our canines is not important,
that the safety of our personnel, that their training, that ammunition is not important. They've prioritized consultants over first responders. The county administrator has decided that safety equipment is not important for our deputies. AEDs and life-saving equipment like road flares, traffic cones, all the things that we need to ensure that our community is safe. God forbid there's some mass casualty event like we've seen in so many other places across our country just this weekend. Things that were cut out of our budget were casualty items to care for people if something like that were ever to occur here. By the way, families here in Indian River County, if you needed a car seat from us and we've given you one in the past, we no longer have the funds to do that, thanks to your county commission. I'm going to post this document on our website and put a link for everyone to see this document that was created by the county administrator. I'd love to know how they decided which particular items were just unnecessary for our operation, because these items were not decided upon in public, they weren't debated upon at a meeting, and at no point have the citizens ever been able to say what it is they feel. Did the county commissioners individually decide that it was okay that we not receive funding for these individual categories? How does a document like this end up on my desk that these decisions were made in the shadows by an unelected bureaucrat? For our victims out there, know that your county commission decided that they will not fund our DNA testing supplies. So if we're unable to make a case on your suspect, you can hold them directly responsible. As I said, I've been transparent since the beginning of this entire process, while the county commission has chosen to make decisions behind the scenes. What they don't realize is there are items inside of this budget that are directly related to protecting our schools, to protecting our children, and to protecting our community every single day. And to the county administrator who sent this letter over to me, I have one simple answer for you. No, we will not stop here. We are going to do everything legally possible to ensure that the operations of the Indian River County Sheriff are properly funded and that this money goes where the taxpayers meant for it to go, into public safety, ensuring that our community is safe and not in the hands of more consultants.